Welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour, your source for all hard rock, heavy metal, new metal, alternative, punk, horror punk, hardcore, rock, and all local bands, with your host, John the Bod, a.k.a. the Bodfather.
Hey, this is Kaz from Redlight King, and you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
The views and opinions of the guest do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of BODS Mayhem Radio Network, its staff, affiliates, or sponsors. Parental discretion is advised. Welcome to BODS Mayhem Radio Network.
Hey everybody, welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour. I'm your host, John the Bod, a.k.a. the Bodfather, and as always, I'm bringing you guys and gals awesome interviews. Today, it's a huge honor and privilege to have Mark, a.k.a. Kaz, from Redlight King. Redlight King has released their first single, Lift the Curse, off their album Moonshine via Parts and Labor Records. Redlight King have recorded 4 full-length albums and musical guest appearances on both Late Night with Conan O'Brien and The Tonight Show with Jay Leno. Redlight King's music has also been featured in such films as The Italian Job, Draft Day, Iron Man 3, and The Avengers, television shows such as Malcolm in the Middle and Person of Interest. And this is my favorite thing. They've also have songs licensed to ESPN, NASCAR, NFL, CFL, NHL, NBA, and Major League Baseball, which my Reds suck right now, and I'm having a hard time with it. But anyway, Kaz, man, how's it going? Welcome to the show. And man,
that's quite the intro, man. Thank you. It sounds like we've done some work, man. You really nailed it there. I really appreciate it, respect you, and grateful to be here, man. Nice to talk to you.
How's it been working with For the Win Media so far for you guys?
I mean, so far it is a win. I mean, I'm stoked for sure, and you know, it's I've had such a lengthy career and so many ups and downs. My teams have always changed, and I really feel like I've got just wonderful people surrounding me in this record, in currently. So you know, I'm excited.
Redlight King has released 4 albums. Newest album entitled is Moonshine. In today's music world, some bands only put out an EP or album out and then they're done, Kaz. How does it feel to still be able to put an album out, especially independently?
I mean, you know, that word independent to me is, you know, it's changed over the years. So, you know, I always thought I was independent even when I was signed to the majors because I always fought for absolute creativity, control of the art and the things that we put out. But what independency really comes down to me, is ownership. And that's the difference now for me. I used to hear about it in the old days. You hear about guys like Ray Charles fighting for their masters and never really understood it, or Tom Petty, you know, those guys. But it's because when you're signed to a major label and you've signed away the master rights to your recordings, you've signed away the ownership. And that's the difference now. So creatively for sure, the band's in a different place, but mostly that word independence is super important. Parts and Labor is an awesome record label created by Jimmy Messer, who's not only a great friend, but just an amazing, super talented musician and producer. So sorry I was a little long-winded, but yeah, it's really, it's honestly, we're in a good place, I think, and feeling confident, you know, because we're able to do what we want to do, what we love to do, and enjoy the process more.
You know, I hear a lot of bands say that we wish it was back in the 60s and 70s, but I kind of feel like bands today have an advantage of being able to create their own music and be their own label and things like that. Don't you think?
I think that, honestly, it's such a mixed match. I will say there's advantages. Honestly, I love the 60s and 70s of that era. So because I think, honestly, the the digital market and the algorithms and everybody who's fighting for the playlist and the visibility, it's just as hard to be noticed as it ever was. So I don't know if it's a total advantage, honestly, now than then. I will say you're able to record on a better budget than you could in the 60s and 70s when you're pulling out 2-inch tape from an Ampeg reel. You know, there's definitely an efficiency there, but it's still hard.
What's impressed or excited you the most about making the album Moonshine, if anything? What sticks out the most for you?
I mean, the fact that I'm still doing it. It's been 20 years, man. I'm in the game. And, you know, our band is very niche. It's very, you know, it's a very custom, dedicated, small craftsmanship style of a record it's not for everybody, you know? So to just kind of finally understand where we are, where we stand, and the people we stand with, you know, I think that's the most exciting thing. You know, I think, to be honest, when you're trying to fit into a lane and sell something, it hurts the art. So for us, it was about creating something we love, not worrying about the end result.
How long did it take to write and complete this album for you guys?
You're going to hate me. It took us 3 years. I'm honestly, like, I mean, I joke with people because we have a song on the record called Long Way to Heaven, and it's just a song of about the human experience, the human condition, and that's a song I couldn't have written, you know, without having life experience. So, I mean, there's an argument there that the album took a lifetime, but less self-indulgent, it physically took us from recording start to finish. It was a 3-year process. It was doing an indie album, and then it manifested into the resurgence of Redlight King. So, yeah, I must have written 30 or 40 songs for that record.
Are there any songs that didn't make this album that could see the light of day on another album or a possible EP, maybe?
I hope so. I mean, I often just go through old catalog and songs that I've recorded. I sometimes think, fuck, should I put that out? For my French, you know, like, would people like that? You know what I mean? So, or does it make sense in an actual overall sort of album perspective? Because this is an old-fashioned LP we built, and that means it's got to have a story. It's got to have a beginning, a middle, and an end, right? Mm-hmm. It's got to have dynamic. It's got to be an old-fashioned album played by real human beings, recorded in an honest and sincere way, capturing a real performance. I mean, that sounds simple, but like, people just aren't doing it anymore. They're not, and it's a crisis. I think when the technology came in, that we've lost a lot of artistry. You know.
Yeah, I agree with that. But too, though, even though it took you guys a while to put this out, you still have to be satisfied with your music to put out there, because if you can't stand behind your music, how are we supposed to, as fans, to stand behind it, you know?
I never know what, you know, people are really, honestly, that hungry for it. So it's more about, like I said, the process and us feeling it and loving what we do. And trying to create something that's fresh, current, but still has the soul and texture of the albums we grew up with, the ones we loved, The Clash. You know?
Yeah. Things
like, you know, I mean, like rock records by Rush, you know, AC/DC in the early 80s, like late 70s. Like, come on. You put on that record, and it sounds as good, if not better, than any new record. Why is that? You know? Yeah, it's part of the recording, but the guys were really, really good, and they gave a shit. They never gave up any free lines, any riffs. Every moment counts. And it's about the gut, visceral feeling of recording a rock and roll band. And it's something that I always believed in, haven't always been able to accomplish. But I think now, having been in the game so long, I think finally I'm starting to see the light.
Any tracks standing out more to you than any right now on this album? I know it changes every time you listen to it or you talk about it, but do you have any that stand out for you possibly?
Here's the thing. I'll be honest with you with this record. One of the best songs on the record is Last, and that's a scary, scary thought, because in today's modern age, you're getting people to listen to maybe the first 3 songs, right, on Spotify, maybe for 30 seconds, if they don't already know you. And I'm not talking about the dedicated Redlight King fan or someone who actually loves music and participates in the culture. I'm talking about the regular Joe. So to put one of our best songs last is like, it's super scary, but it's also hopeful that people will make it through the entire album, you know? So I think Long Way to Heaven stands out. I think Until You're Dead and Not Dead Yet, which was a play on each other. Again, we talk about continuity in a record. So, I'm big on titles, vibes, tempo, everything, being cohesive and interesting and exciting and cool. So, yeah, I'm proud of every song, man. Nothing really stands out to me. We did an interesting cut of Working Man by Rush. So we covered that song, and that was a lot of fun. And a very complicated song to play. Tempo changes and, a crazy solo, which Julian honored. And, he's from St. Catharines, Ontario, so this home of Neil Peart and those guys. So that was pretty cool. That's one that maybe might stand out.
So with all of these songs on this album, was it hard to choose between which one you wanted to release first or push first? Or was it hands down Lift the Curse?
No, I don't think it's ever hands down. And you know what? I honestly, I'm just the guy. I'm just the creator. So if someone in my team or in my camp, or the more I share the album with, people start to say, hey, they mention the same song, more times than less, then I start to go, okay, maybe that's the guy, And also being independent and feeling like it's a resurgence of the band. And, that was it's a real rock record. Got a killer riff, super simple, it's easy to play, and people dig it. So it was like, I like the way it felt. It just felt like the first one for me. It wasn't necessarily hands down, but there was an overwhelming response for that one. And sometimes we look for the immediacy, and other times, we look for something that's a little deeper. But that one just felt good, so we went with it.
What do you hope everyone takes away from, or message you hope they hear while listening to Lift the Curse or any of Redlight King's music in general?
I mean, in general, I would have to say that, I can't tell you enough times that for me, music's changed my life. I can't live without music. And if people feel something or hear something, and a lot of the songs in our past are about recovery and overcoming, struggles and the working man's, the blue collar fight, the ethos and the heartbeat of building something from nothing. If you can get anything like that from our music, then that's a win for us.
You mentioned this just a little bit ago. Jimmy Messer produced this album, who has worked with AWOL Nation, Kygo, Kelly Clarkson. Working with him, man, did he get anything extra out of you guys that somebody else may not have gotten, possibly?
100%. The guy's got, he's a guy. He's like tuned into the universe in another way that in so much, when you're a band or you're a writer, and you can have a partner or someone in the room and you trust, that's my guy. And I trust him on, if I'll play a part or, write a line, and he's like, that's not quite right, because he's a musicologist, man. The guy knows more songs, bands, when they were produced, who they were produced by, the years they were made, than anyone I know. So I got the better guy, the smarter guy in the room, because when you look around, and you're not the smartest guy in the room, to me, that's a good place. I never want to be the best, most talented guy in the room. I'm always looking to better myself, my project, and yeah. It's a great experience. The guy's awesome.
Who did the artwork for the album, man?
We got different artists, indie artists, and that, but the guy I'm most excited about, the cover, which hasn't been released, is by Bruce Pennington, and he was especially big in the 70s. He did a lot of sci-fi paintings, and through a lot of digging and social media, I was able to get a hold of Bruce and the people in his estate, and we acquired the rights and the ability to use one of his paintings for the cover. So I'm really excited for that because I'm a huge fan, and I also feel like that the era of which way he painted resembles the music itself, right? Mm-hmm. So you want to have that, you want to have that correlation between, art, music, the look, the whole thing, right? So yeah, I'm super stoked on the cover.
Do you still see this band musically growing from where it started, or has it been just more of a personal growth for everybody involved in this band?
I mean, I think you never stop evolving and growing. I mean, we've seen the members in our band. It's been over a decade. So I mean, I think that the core of what we do, what we stand for, and who we are as people hasn't changed. But I think artistically, we're painting a different picture, and I think that's really important. We're finally making records that we really want to make, regardless of the result or who's going to buy them or who gives a shit. We're doing it art for art's sake, and that's the difference. Maybe you just got to get past yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't mean to sound like an old guy because I never want to be the old guy in the room. Say, you know what I mean? But it's a different mentality, man. And I think that's really the only difference. I think we're just making art for making art, and I think that hopefully is relevant, and hopefully people give it a look. To give it a chance. That's all we can ask for.
I know no one is not reinventing the wheel, but what does Redlight King bring to the table for music to add to it?
I mean, that's a tough question, and I'll tell you why. Because any answer here could feel or sound pretentious, or to deal in one's own importance. Again, you're getting in scary territory. I'll tell you, man. I honestly, I just believe we're doing, music that is honest, it's authentic, it's real rock and roll. We're real guys. We're craftsmen. We're players. We've been doing this a long time, but we still got some youth, and I hope that honestly there's a slight political underline in a lot of our music. And I think that the harder you dig, I think that it's enriching. It's good food for the soul. Mm-hmm. This isn't fast food we're doing here. And so at the end of the day, what people take from it is what they're going to take from it. What do we bring to the table? I mean, a killer live rock show. Super fun. Connecting with our fans. We care about people, and I think that's the new punk rock. Everyone thought punk rock was not giving a shit, but I always thought they did. They were anti-system, rich people, government, hold it, they were for the people, of the people. We're all that, mm-hmm. But and we're not hiding it, so that's it.
So when you're coming into the recording studio, do you like to do anything differently during the writing and recording process? And I know that's two different concepts, but, to help keep your mind fresh and open, to not get bored, not get stale with it, do you do anything that helps you out possibly?
I think just co-writing helps a lot. I think, writing on different instruments a lot. I think showing up, putting your boots on, working a 9-to-5, it helps a lot. I think that creatively I went so far left. And when I came back, it was just a new view. It was like I have this artistic experience of doing a solo record and not working with the band and trying things that did and didn't work, And now I'm bringing a new edge and a new perspective to the music. So
when you left and came back, did you just need to take a break or just recharge and just get away from everything?
Yeah, for sure. 5 years of touring, you're going to burn out. I don't care who you are.
Sure. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, most definitely.
Touring like we did, man. You know what I mean? I drove our van 90,000 miles in 3 years. That's what I put on that. Pulling a 14-foot trailer. And, on the good days, we were in a bus, and we have no ego. And at the end of the day, we're working hard. And, I'm not going to sit here and try to paint a fake picture of it. Mm-hmm. And it's real life, and it's real music for real people. And I think for me, coming back was important because to this day, people still like the music. They're still listening to those first couple of records, and they're messaging me on Instagram and saying, hey, you got it through a hard time. Your music, got me through it. That, you know, on our song "Old Man" there, that a lot of people, they played that at their dad's funeral. You know, my dad passed away, died in my arms, and God bless his soul. You know what I mean? Like, there's a real human element to our music that is resonating. And, you know, I'm not, you know, perhaps at times I thought maybe we deserve more. But at the end of the day, if we're doing it, that's good enough. That's good enough for me.
When you said that, I don't know if it was you or someone, that their father passed away in their arms, but with your music, I mean, man, that's.
No, dude, I get heavy messages from people all the time. It blows my mind.
Yeah, I mean,
it blows my mind. Because every once in a while I go, I suck. You know, I'm an insecure artist. You know what I mean? Like, I did that, whatever. But then someone will reach out to me and go, you know, this is still relevant. It's still important to me, and I listen to this with my kids, or you know what I mean? Or you know what I mean? And we take this song to the racetrack. I mean, Dale Earnhardt Jr., one of his favorite songs was "Old Man," and he was playing it to Kozlowski. I know he loved NASCAR. You're from Kentucky, so you must. And all of a sudden, I'm at the drivers' meeting, and I'm meeting all these guys, and they're relating to the song, to the music, and the message. And those are grassroots, real human beings. And it's like, okay, man, like, I don't have to be a big pop star or an artist. I don't have to win a Grammy. If I can connect with the people, I'm your man. I'm happy to do it.
What can fans expect at a show from Redlight King who have not got to see you guys live as of yet? What are they going to get when they come to see you all?
I mean, you got to come see it. There's got to be some mystery there. You know, I'm not going to say, you know, oh, we play the same for 15 people or 15,000 people. I've heard that kind of response from people, but from artists, you know, and I'm just like, no, we're not playing the same 15 people. You know, we share, okay? So when we play a show, we feel the energy, the vibration in the room, and we share, and we change. So if you saw one Redlight King show 3 years ago, it's not going to be the same. And I'm calling out shots. I'm going with the Bob Dylan method. I'm switching stuff halfway through, and the band's going, uh-oh. Pay attention. You know what I mean? This can never be a circus act. It can never be an absolute. I mean, I played with some of the biggest rock bands in the world. Man, they're on track. They're on tape. They got backup tapes for their backup tapes. I mean, I'm listening to them say the same thing in between songs. It's rehearsed so much so that I don't want to be in that business. I'm not doing it. That to me is, you know, you might as well be going to work every day in a steel mill. And there's nothing wrong with that, but that's not for me.
Is there a country that stands out or shocks you that Redlight King gets support from, or the music even gets played in that area possibly?
I think South America is really awesome, you know, and I think that England and the UK, they really like us. Germany really liked us, and we never got to tour Japan, but we had some records out in Japan, and they seem to be doing well. So, you know, my music's for everyone, and like I said, we're just we're artists, and we're out there, and we're doing it, and you know, I can just hope that everyone has the chance to hear us, man, you know, in the album.
When you were younger, did you have a go-to album or song that just let you escape? Or maybe even today, do you have that go-to album or song to let you do that?
Not really. I mean, nothing specifically stands out. It's always changing, you know. So my dad grew me up on soul and blues music. So you had Sam Cooke and John Lee Hooker. You had that side of the spectrum. And then it just, you know, I started watching Players. And I grew up in, you know, blue-collar steel town. So there was a band. You go down the street, and there was a live band playing every bar or every second bar. I mean, and no one charged to get in. I mean, other than like Tennessee, I don't see that anywhere in the world. I mean, it's dead. You know, I mean, I go home now, and in all those bars where those guys were playing bands and jamming and doing really awesome creative shit. I mean, they're all nightclubs now. So it went to the USB, and that's fine. You know. I'm not saying that's not relevant either. All I'm saying is, you know, I was the lucky one who got the tail end of the era of like real players and craftsmen.
Folks, you want to get out and check out Redlight King's new single, lift the curse off their album Moonshine via Parts and Labor Records. You want to get out and check all this stuff out. Kaz, how can folks stay in touch with you guys, buy some merchandise, tour dates, whenever you guys do anything with all this? How can they do that?
I mean, you know, we're on all social media platforms. We got Instagram, Facebook. It's all Redlight King, redlightkingmusic.com. You know, we've got our new merch coming up. It'll be available shortly. And then we're really excited to be pressing some vinyl and, you know, letting our fans, you know, have something unique and that means something to us. So, yeah, we're on all that, and we're easy to get a hold of. And if you contact me on Instagram, it's going to be me. You know, I'm doing it, and I try to reply to everyone as best I can.
Before I let you go, good sir, would you care to do a promo for the show?
Hey, this is Cass from Redlight King, and you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Everybody stick around. We got some great stuff coming up, and you only hear these interviews on BODS Mayhem Hour and BODS Mayhem Radio Network. Please get out and check out our Facebook page. It has our podcast link, YouTube link, and soon our Twitch link. And it's very important that you guys get out and check out our YouTube page, like it, and subscribe it, because anything and everything that we do on BODS Mayhem Hour is going up on that, plus our podcast link. Also, get out and check out Redlight King, and you will not be disappointed. So thank you so much, Kaz, and I wish you guys nothing but the best of luck, man.
That was an awesome interview. Thanks for having me, okay? We'll keep in touch. And if we're playing in Kentucky, we'll have you out there.
Sounds good to me, man.
All right. Awesome, bro.
You're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.